everybody has a star. I lost my mother at 3 years old, and it was a mystery. Nobody truly knows the cause of her death. At least that's what I was told. This confusion and this emptiness left a permanent scar on my well-being. It's this marking that has manifested in many ways, like my stuttering. I developed a stutter early in my life, around the age of 4. I felt like my mind was cluttered. I felt like everybody was judging me. I felt like everyone was rushing me to get over it, rushing me to speak. And despite this never-ending pressure, I chose to find my voice. The voice is one of the most beautiful manifestations of the soul, and mine was shattered. With no one to answer my questions about my mother, I searched for her in the stars. When I started making music and experimenting with my voice, I finally felt like I broke the curse. I slowly began to find my true voice, and my stuttering eventually went away.
We just coming up, we ain't going down. We just coming up, we ain't going down. We just coming up, we ain't going down. We ain't going down. What did you imagine? How did all this happen? Sorry, please, no capping. Love it with a passion. We ain't going down. We ain't going down. We just coming up. We ain't going down.
Tell me, what do you dream? And I be had been on the road for the scene. For everything ain't what it seemed though. Fame and love, what do you fiend for? I came to the scene.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Marco Stats, live and direct from Uptown. I've been living in here my whole life. It's such a legendary neighborhood. It's on the north side of Chicago. The north side of Chicago being the smallest side of Chicago. I feel like Uptown captures the true embodiment of what the Windy City means because it's right there on Lake Michigan. This is where I first learned how to rap, where I first played sports, where I met all my classmates, I met my friends, some of my friends I still have to this day. Yeah, so right here, it says Troy and it says Pappy, which is a tribute to the rapper Young Pappy, who's also from Uptown. We both went to grammar school together at McCutcheon down the street. That school right there actually. Pappy was the first person that I ever told that I wanted to rap because back then in like 5th, 6th grade, he was already rapping. He was like the only rapper in the school. Kind of motivated me to rap as well. So I feel like Pappy was my first inspiration and kind of was the person who kind of really broke my shell and gave me true motivation to rap. And then Troy, as you guys can see, is also one of my childhood friends that's from McCutcheon as well. I used to play basketball with him. We was on the basketball team in McCutcheon, 7th and 8th grade. Yeah, man, we were both the star players on the basketball team. I want to say rest in peace to my brother Troy as well. And also rest in peace to Pappy. They're definitely Uptown legends. But yeah, right here is the infamous corner store that's called Asha Foods, which I used to always go to. This store is very important to the legacy of Uptown because there's so many kids, so many people that used to come here to buy groceries, food, and it was one of the meetup spots that me and my friends would come to before school, after school, during school. If we were ditching school, we would ditch school, come here to get some food. If you ask anybody about Asha Foods, they would know exactly what you're talking about because it's something that we all have experienced. So I feel like the South Side is kind of known for like the arts, it's known for the history. You got the West Side that has their own history, but nobody really ever hears anything about the North Side. So I feel like people from the North Side and people from Uptown are very, very diverse. They're very, very versatile because they're able to take and to borrow things from so many different cultures, from the South Side, from the East Side, from the West Side, and kind of make our own little sauce, our own swag that's kind of different from everybody else. It gives you a different perspective of the whole city. Welcome to Little Vietnam, which is a small little portion of Uptown, which is on the very far north area of Uptown. It is home to so many different Vietnamese people, so many people from Asia, and it really captures the diversity of Uptown. It's one of my very favorite places to go when I'm in Uptown. It has so many different restaurants, so many different bakeries, so many different landmarks that's super dope. As you guys can see, I'm standing right here by this mural that's dedicated to my friend John Vietnam, which was one of the first rappers from Uptown, who is from this community right here, Lil Vietnam. He's an inspiration for all of people in Uptown for what he stood for in his music and his legacy. If you guys actually go to the next street, which is Winthrop, they dedicated that street to him. So it's actually now called John Vietnam Street. Right now we're walking down Sheridan, feel me? Sheridan coming up on Lawrence, and this is also a pretty historic area because before all the like gentrification and everything happened in Uptown, a lot of kids used to hang out on this block. A lot of kids doing crazy stuff, bad stuff, but then also just having fun and just being kids inside the neighborhood that was just curious about life. So this block, this corner just really takes me back to some of those moments. Yeah, I feel like Uptown has really helped my artistry in the sense of it being so diverse here. We have cultures from so many different parts of the world, from Africans, Asian, Middle Eastern, Caucasian, Hispanic. It's so many different cultures up here, and all of those spices and all them different flavors kind of all went inside my artistry, you know. And I feel like those energies and those cultures is what makes my music stand out.
And nobody never born no villain. God made them all kings to the grave seem appealing. Still in y'all fees when the ties go missing. Hurting our teens, yeah, they lost to the system. Some of our shorties don't got no prophecy. Folks get slaughtered by the CP department. Screaming they vote, I ain't talking breath popping. Schools getting closed while them kids still stopping. There was no harvest for the real truth.
I feel like Chicago needs music because for some of these kids out here in Chicago, that's all they have. You know what I mean? They don't have the opportunity to really go outside anymore because of gun violence and just because of the way that the world's set up. So if they can have an outlet at home where they, you know, on their computer or even just on a higher level where you're booking out studio time and stuff like that, I believe it's just an outlet for the younger generation to be able to be creative and, you know, let their emotions out in that way instead of in a negative way. I've worked with everyone from Chris Brown, French Montana, Fetty Wap, Lil Durk, a lot of different artists in the industry, yeah.
Personally, I just say Marco is literally Marco. Because, like, after working with him for some time and just kind of, like, to watch him grow and be more comfortable with his voice, to see him actually start taking risks, Marco is just basically telling stories.
When I think about Marco and his sound, I get a real Chicago, New York, you know, just real Philly almost type vibe from him. He's real soulful, real intimate, just like a melting pot of just like that real black, I don't even want to say black, but just real, you know, soulful culture.
And this limitation is biting away my spirit. Don't want to open my mouth. Don't want to look in the mirror. My father works in my head.
Like, he could literally tell a story, but use like a lit beat and make like a lit track and make you like, oh man, this is real dope, man. Like, I'm right with it. But he's actually telling you something that's like, that's real.
You have to be yourself. You have to be original. And that's what I love about Marco. That's what I love about his sound. He doesn't look for outside influences. I feel like it strictly comes from him and his perspective and his lifestyle that he lives.
That's basically like why Marco just stands out so much, especially compared to everybody else that's in this scene. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of new artists that come out of Chicago, they try to go for like that drill route first, like that hard or turn up route, instead of just kind of like trying something else. The record that's my favorite so far, I love Colorblind.
You demons don't bring no problems. You only just make me strong. You sold your soul, you's a coward. You never know till you're gone. Baby, like, hey, young brother.
The song is very bright and is like very kind of like, you know, bouncy and stuff like that. And that's what I really loved about it. And I remember vividly when he sent me the song and I was listening to it. I was on the red line on the train going home. And I'm like, I loved it. So yeah. Those are my two favorite tracks.
Waves in the use fishing. I'm the rap game's hope. I'm in Noah's Ark. They ain't taking my spot like I'm Rosa Parks. Homie shot and killed young, playing in the dark. Gang banging 15, watching for the nuts. I'm talking more than just a stereotypical shit that's harming us all. I'm a doctor like Julius serving us passing.
Me and Marco met at the Boys and Girls Club. I do remember like very vividly, like he used to stutter all the time. And I think it affected his confidence. But I noticed Marco used to write a lot, like when it was schools and essays, and just sometimes just he would zone out and just write. And I felt like he was finding himself through writing because he couldn't verbalize it. But I have vivid memories of him just writing all the time.
I went from being a young person who could barely say a sentence without stuttering. When I was in first through third grade, I couldn't even say a sentence without stuttering on my words. To now being a director of a studio where I'm actually teaching people and I'm guiding the youth and I'm also learning from them.
As far as freestyle circle goes, I know how I came in, just a struggling artist, dropped out of school, and didn't really have nowhere to go. But I found circles probably through an open mic. I don't recall, but I remember coming here to the church just to record music, and it was just like, kind of like destiny bringing me back into this space. But I felt some sort of community here. And then also I think on some level beyond that, it teaches you confidence in a way that I think I used to be really shy. So it definitely brought my confidence up to a whole nother level.
We understand that in Chicago, due to the violence and due to redlining and so many different factors that's in the city, there's a lot of youth that don't have the funds or the opportunity to go to studios or to even come to certain parts of the city. So we wanted to make sure that we made a space where the youth can be able to come in and express themselves and record.
Yeah, I'll say Uptown is like a big melting pot, and you just have a variety of different people that kind of make it Uptown. And you might have some people that's gangbanging. You might have people going to school. Or you might have there's also a lot of issues there too with the homeless people and you know, people that are addicted to drugs. Or you'll have people that are artists like myself and Marco, and we all kind of grew up together. So like we went to the Boys and Girls Club, or we went to alternatives programs that were dedicated to serving the young people and the youth in the community. And we all grew up together like that. There's something really special about knowing your purpose and knowing what you meant on this planet to do. And I'm not gonna trade that in for money. It's beyond me, it's beyond Marco, it's beyond Juan, it's beyond Lee. You know, it's about everybody involved. And if I can help in making sure people feel comfortable and feel accepted, because the rest of the world is like, you don't look cool enough. You're not fit to be here. You too gay, you too smart, whatever it is, man, we not about that here. That's what I mean by the ability to transform. And you know, you gotta fight for that. You know, I'm all about fighting for that and making sure people feel comfortable and safe on all levels. So that's what it's about for me.
Uptown, and man, he has like a bunch of dope ass music.
want for Uptown? I just want people to know our story. The North Side is often left out of the conversation when it comes to Chicago hip-hop. Our perspective is overlooked because we challenge the stereotype. I know over 10 people I grew up with that has lost their lives to these same streets. I often wonder about their stories. I often reminisce about everything they've taught me. My drive, my courage, my competitiveness, my versatility all comes from Uptown. I'm stuck in the middle of 3 different cultures. I've always felt like my life was a movie and I couldn't wait for the world to watch it.
Woo! Bro, I'm sweating, bro. I'm sweating bullets, bro. I've been watching Marco since like a long time, bro. And he like just progressed. I've been seeing Marco working, bro. Like he been putting on that hard work and sweat. It was lit, man. It was lit.
I see Marco Stat next 5 years, no live, as being the one that's on stage on the Grammys. I'm like, damn, I know him. Like, you feel me? He's gonna be there. He's gonna be up there. Period. I don't care what nobody say. He's gonna get up there. Period.
I see Marcos at MTV making a lot of money and helping out his people that helped him out.
On this path, I've met many other souls. Some traumatized, some disenfranchised, and even some lost and confused. I resonate with all of them, and I use my power to shine my light on the broken, because I know deep down inside, they're just trying to find their voice, just like me. Everybody's been broken in one way or the other, but yet everybody has a star. A star in the sky.
So just be thankful today. Sometimes life don't go your way. You gotta show your face. Gotta face it, 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 gotta face it. I never had nothing, from nothing to something. I never had nothing. Came from a broken home, rats and roaches, bro. Getting money, gotta watch out for the vultures, bro. I had to teach myself the game while dealing with this pain. I told my bro I was gonna make it before we got slain. The Boys and Girls Club days, Lord and Miss Charmaine. Michael distraught, little boy trying to maintain. I grew into a man, Marco stats is out. They play me up in Netherlands, and Poland, even in Japan. I'm still that same little when on the street. I've been a neutron in the jungle, they notice me. They say hip-hop damage the youth.